In one of the last entries, I showed how to play scales, how to go from the large movements to the small movements, how to cross, descending and ascending, and so on. And I wanted to show the similarities and the differences between that and arpeggio playing. People so frequently ask, how do I do an arpeggio? How do I play it in a way that will feel secured and that I don't miss? So if we start from the rotation point of view, we start with a single rotation, as every first note of a piece, unless it's an interval or a chord, starts as a single rotation. This is big. Again, the turning is all the way to here, crossing, just like in the scale, larger crossing. Larger distances, which necessitate slightly larger motion, preparatory motions, to get us across. The idea being that we never stretch, because stretching is one of the main reasons for problems, limitations, missing, fatigue, and pain. So in order not to play this way, we need another motion, another limb part that will move as quick as the fingers can move up and down, that it will get us across. It's another job that the fingers simply can't do without a steep price. So we have a larger rotation, and all of this is exaggerated. This is a double rotation, a turn to get everything over, a turning, another second rotation, and another double rotation. So to show it again, and watch how my forearm is turning. It's of utmost importance, not just to turn, but to feel that you're turning freely. You're turning freely and you're letting it fall, quote, fall, freely without any break, without the wrist falling. And again. Coming up, just like a scale, with a distance. Coming here, watch how. The whole idea is that you have movements that can get you across as quickly as possible, without any fatigue or pain, and with security. So my hand looks this way. Don't close it more, but it doesn't feel stretched. Forearm rotation is doing it. And I'll show in the left hand what happens to the thumb. The thumb traditionally is told to go right behind in order to get ready to play after the crossing when we move up. When we do that, we cramp that thumb and make it difficult for the other fingers to move. And this is in the whole tradition of moving fingers alone, and nothing else is moving. Now in the tradition of the forearm is connected to you and moving with you, we don't leave the thumb behind either. We can bring it over, just not to stretch. Fingers always have to release over. But in the case of the scale, it can go behind the second finger. As my forearm is moving, it's moved behind the third, so it doesn't cramp when it goes behind the fourth. And the forearm completes. That's what happens in my right hand. So the thumb is simply walking gradually, and by the time you get close to playing it, it's almost there. So that's what's happening here. It's a single rotation from 1 to 2, double to 3, single. This is the magical movement to get us across so quickly and with such ease. And then it's a single, a double, and a double. Now those motions, as we do them correctly, the teacher will then show the student how to begin to minimize them. Fingers have to be alive, because if it's the arm alone, it's impossible to minimize. This is the role of the fingers as they move together with the forearm. Now you can see that somehow my hand still looks the same, the sound is still the same, and the forearm is constantly adjusting, so they are always where the fingers are. Now, what else is there? Together with the rotation, that's just one movement. Is in order, we are in the white key area, in order not to curl or to twist, as often people do, this way or this way, we move a little bit out. What's moving out? The forearm, bringing out the fingers into the proper place. Together with the rotation, move a little bit in to bring the thumb into the keyboard area. Again, in order not to curl. Again, main reason for tension. Rotating and moving a little bit out. Rotating, moving a little bit in. Rotating, moving a little bit out. Rotating, moving a little bit out. Moving in a little bit to bring the short thumb into the keyboard. A little bit out, a little bit out, a little bit forward. And with that, the slight adjustment, what we call the shaping, adjusting to the different length of fingers. Getting, in this case, a little bit higher on the longer fingers, on its way down to the thumb. Again, without coming down but not low, getting a little bit higher, coming a little bit lower. So all of that the shaping can only succeed if you are moving, you're making those designs correctly, getting a little bit higher on the right fingers and a little bit lower on the other fingers. So there is a whole science behind how do we, when do we do what. The other important thing is that it's done from the forearm, not from the wrist and not from the upper arm, which tires very quickly and is a large movement. So all of that, so when I teach people, I actually minimize everything and say, feel the minimized version, still a little bit slower, so you can feel how underneath there is the sideways feeling, the in and out, a little bit of the shaping, the adjustment across. Feels the same, but feels much more natural than when the motions are very large. Music is filled with examples of arpeggios. They are everywhere, especially classical romantic music. I just wanted to bring a couple of examples to show the practicality that once you learn how to move from finger to finger, how to cross going up and going down, how useful it is in music. You don't have to figure it out each time. You have to see there's some changes. Sometimes it's all white keys, sometimes it's white and black, sometimes it's all black, sometimes there is a leap following one, but the basic skill of how to do scales, how to do arpeggios are there. So in Beethoven Opus 31, number 2, first movement, and it's starting measure 160, here is the scale, here is an arpeggio. So what do we have? Same things that I show. Here's the crossing. Here's the crossing. Once you learn to do something, it's there. If you learn to do it correctly, it doesn't go away. You know exactly what to do. Here, unlike in the C major, you don't have to move in and out this way because the long fingers are on black keys. So we just move a little bit together with the rotation. There's a little bit of an adjustment forward because the fourth finger is going to a black key. Here's the rotation and forward. The arm is simply moving forward from where the short finger was to where the long finger is. So they feel together and the finger feels strong. That's one of the great byproducts of doing these things. There's such a feeling of strength on each finger. So here is the single rotation, double, double. Here is a single, single, double. Here my forearm is coming with me to get close to the playing thumb. The thumb is adjusting gradually behind the second and the third finger. So you don't need a huge rotation. If the thumb is in the wrong place, there's a very big arm motion which is not efficient, especially not in speed. So here, with the shaping, again. And of course, you have a choice to take the bottom note or a couple of note in the left hand makes it even easier. But as you see, you still, the issue of how to cross is always there. How to play without stretching is always there. And here is the answer. And you have another arpeggio, G minor. Again, just remember, whenever there's a crossing that way, just flip the forearm, gets everybody there. All the fingers, the arm, you don't have to disconnect. So these are the rotation are there. This is the big, this is the small. You can hear that there is still the same evenness. There is the same feeling of control. The rotations become so small. There's just a sense of ease going from finger to finger. It's very hard to explain it. It's very easy to understand it when you feel it. That's the issue with all of these things.